are you doing?
I'm making a video.
I don't want to be in a video for Dan.
Well, quit walking in front of the camera then.
I'll put
Dan?
the camera in the kitchen.
This is Juliet. I think you talked to her once on the phone.
Yeah.
So
and it was on the mini.
you can see that what we've done here is we have an exchange student because really what we need is a domestic servant.
It's a spoon next to the knife or...
Yes, next.
Yeah.
So Juliet is our domestic servant.
Right.
And there's my other domestic servant. Whiff, give me some dinner.
Really?
We'll see how well that goes over. Uh-oh. I think she flipped me off. I may have deserved it. Juliet, those are bad manners. Don't pay any attention. Okay. Hey, Dan. I decided that I can do one of two things right now. I can watch the primary returns, or I can make a video. And I decided I'd rather make a video. So if you're curious at all, right now, as of it's 8:04 Iowa time, Ted Cruz is actually leading by about a percentage point and a half over the Donald, the Hare. Marco Rubio is about 13 percentage points down. Let's see. Hillary Clinton is about 5.5 percentage points up on Bernie. So anyway, but that's not why I came here. I came here to talk about the wedding and to tell you how that went. So I don't know. Have you? Did you and your family? Were you guys skiers at all? Did you guys? You don't strike me as skiers, but you might have been. So had you ever been to Winter Park? All that time you guys lived in Fort Collins, did you ever go down to Winter Park? You probably know where it is, I'm guessing, right? Right on, it's right on like Highway 40, coming straight up from I-70, which goes east and west out of Denver. So anyway, so that's where the wedding was Winter Park. The wedding was attended by... So the camera cut off. So the wedding was attended by Adam and Lindsay's immediate family. So Adam has 4 brothers, 2 step siblings, and a half sister, all of whom were there, and siblings and hangers-on, children, that kind of thing. And then Lindsay's mother died here a few years ago, but her father and his girlfriend were there, and then her uncle and
Time to eat.
Already?
Yes.
So anyway, and Lindsay's uncle and his wife were there. So I discovered that 10 minutes before this whole thing started that most of those in attendance were evangelical Christians. Thought that was kind of funny. So anyway, I gotta go eat. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back from dinner. I bet it seemed like no time passed, huh? So anyway, let's see. It looks like 37% of the vote has been counted in Iowa for the Republicans, and Ted Cruz is at 29.4%, and the Hare is at 26.3%. So, and Hillary's ahead by 2.5%. Anyway, what was I saying? The wedding. So I wasn't exactly sure how that was going to go with a bunch of evangelicals in the audience. It went okay. The ceremony was held in a small chapel. There was really sort of it was a rotunda, and it was is owned by the YMCA of the Rockies, and apparently this the YMCA was given several thousand acres back in the 60s donated to them. And this is part of that. So it was actually really, it was really pretty, very quaint. Like I said, there was only about 22 people in attendance. And I tried to talk to most people. I made sure I talked to all the brothers. I had met one of the brothers before, one of the other brothers who, Adam was, never really has any very, very many nice things to say about. I actually rode back and forth to the rehearsal and back with him. And then Adam's dad and mom got divorced, I think when Adam was 10 or 12 or 14. And then he remarried, but his mom never did. And she's got, I don't know, just some, I don't know if they're mental issues or it's just sort of semi-capable of, I mean, she lives on her own, but it's just sort of one of those sort of sad stories where the kids always feel like they need to take care of her, you know what I mean? So, anyway, I think I will read you the ceremony. So what I did is I actually spent a lot of time on it, working on this, what I call my script, right? And trying to get it right, make sure it was, reflected what I thought Adam and Lindsay believed and things they felt important, but also wanting to inject, they said they trusted me to say what I thought was important. So I thought that was kind of cool. So what I did is I actually took the script, and I worked on it. I think it's in here somewhere. There it is. So essentially it was like 4 pages, like this kind of stuff, right? And I had revisions and additions and changes and but I wanted to still respect the sort of the traditional form of American weddings, the sort of the dearly beloveds and the I do's and the power vested in me's and all that stuff. So there were certain things I wanted to definitely hit. The welcome, the charge to the couple, the exchange of rings, all that stuff. And yet also wanted to not, this was not a wedding. Adam and Lindsay are not church-going folk, and they're spiritual, but they're definitely not religious. So I tried to reflect that. So anyway, let me read to you what I did. So what I did is I took that script of mine, and I actually entered it into the book. So this was a book that I got maybe 25 years ago, 23 years ago from Beth. It was a gift. It's a journal made by Lee Valley. So anyway, let me read it to you. So the procession, started with the procession, of course. Lindsay came in, and I said, nice. Uh-oh, it just updated. Ooh, Cruz is almost ahead by 4% now, with half the vote counted. Oh dear. So anyway, family and friends of Lindsay and Adam, welcome and thank you for being here on this important day. This next sentence is something that Lindsay and Adam wrote. Today is a celebration of love, of commitment, of friendship, of family, and of 2 people who are in it forever. And then back to my words. Marriage is a rite and a ceremony as ancient as the human race. It is the manifestation of the one human constant throughout all time. That one constant that cuts across all religions, all cultures, all races and politics, that one constant being love. The most living moment comes when two people who love each other meet each other's eyes and in what flows between them at that moment. But then a decision must be made. Ultimately, two people who love each other must ask how much they hope for as their love grows and deepens and how much risk they're willing to take. For marriage is a fearful gamble. To marry is the biggest risk in human relations that a person can take. When you get married, you have no way of knowing what joys and pains you're agreeing to. 10, 20, 40, 60 years of marriage, so much will happen during that time that it's impossible to know the full breadth of the commitment. Right now, you're agreeing to start the process of being married. Because marriage is a process, and it happens over the span of a lifetime. Marriage is full of crossroads, some so small and mundane you won't give them a second thought, and some so big that's all you'll think about. At every crossroad, you'll have a choice. You can become more married or less married. Every joy and every sorrow gives you the opportunity to strengthen or diminish your relationship. It's not the nature of life to always make the right choice, but it is the nature of marriage to strive to make the choice that strengthens. You do this by talking and listening and growing together. When you talk, you share yourself. When you listen, you believe that what the other says matters. When you grow, you walk the road together. This togetherness is not a rejection of freedom. Saying I do does not mean, Adam, you give up golfing. Or you, Lindsay, give up running. Or that you each give up making chili. You are partners, but you're also the guardians of each other's solitude. And as you love one another, let your love be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. So now the exchange of vows. So at this point, Adam and Lindsay, they had written their own vows. So I got the rings from Aaron, Adam's brother and best man. I had them in my hand. And Adam says his vows. He had written them out. He couldn't actually read them because he was starting to tear up and he couldn't read his words through the tears. It was pretty funny. So he said his vows and he took the ring and put it on Lindsay's finger. And then Lindsay said her vows.
Someone should buy. You should buy me.
She didn't read off of a piece of paper.
You should buy me.
Nor would I really say that she had it memorized.
Oh, right here.
She started off by saying something like,
goodbye.
I've been thinking a lot about what I wanted to say in my vows. And what you meant to me. And then she went on from there and eventually said things that sounded vowish. And then she took the other ring and put it on Adam's finger. So there was no I do's at this point. They just said their vows and put the rings on. Then we went, signed the marriage license right there as part of the ceremony. I got to sign. That was pretty cool. And once we were done with that, I said, Adam and Lindsay, you have willingly come before family and friends with your intention to marry. You arrived here as friends and partners, and you have exchanged solemn vows, and you have sealed those vows with the exchange of rings. You have pledged to love and to remain steadfast and loyal to one another. May that love be eternal and undying. And then for the big reveal. By the power vested in me by the state of Colorado and by the spirit of all those who love you, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may now kiss the bride. Not you, but Adam. I told Adam that. So they smooched. And then I said, may this marriage be blessed. May it be blessed with leaves and fruit like the apple tree. And may it always be blessed with short lift lines and deep powder. Go forth, Adam and Lindsay, be married, and become ever more married.
I just doubled my kills.
Family, friends, allow me to be the first to introduce you to Adam and Lindsay Moeller. And then the recessional. So, it went pretty well for my inaugural
I was getting too
marriage.
I couldn't see my screen.
There was some dubiousness on the part of Adam, a couple of Adam's brothers. They weren't quite certain that this was going to be legal. They had never been to anything like this before. And it's funny because I haven't actually been to a wedding lately that was actually in a church or with a holy man. So, yeah, it went well. I think that actually her sister-in-law, Adam's sister-in-law, Adam's brother, and Adam's dad all told me that they thought it was really nice and sweet and that I did a good job. So I was happy with that. And ultimately, as long as Adam and Lindsay were happy and they ended up married, that was, I guess, the point. So, yeah. That's how it went. Then we went to the reception where Adam and Lindsay actually cooked most of the food themselves. They made chili, thus the comment in the ceremony. Adam made his chili, Lindsay made her chili, and then they had a third pot that had a combined chili. They mixed their chilies. It was chili mixing. So there are some cultures that's actually part of a wedding ceremony. You mix your chilies. So anyway, it was good. And I have nothing more to say. So be you well, enjoy Mazatlan and your iguanas, and I will talk to you when I talk to you.